Welcome to Microsoft Excel with EJD. In this video, I'll be talking about tips for large files and performance in Excel. So if you get to work in an environment where you have to deal with very large data sets and things like that, you're working with very heavy files. So here I'm giving you some tips to help you perform better. So working with large Excel files can be challenging, especially when it leads to slow response times, crashes, or data corruption. So here we are. I present detailed practical tips to help you manage large files efficiently and optimize Excel's performance. So of course, straight to the point, the first thing you need to know is that you can optimize workbook design. Optimize workbook design because I mean you need to be efficient in all you do. So optimize workbook design. So the first thing you want to do under this is to limit used range. Okay, limit used range. That's the beginning cell to the last cell now. So avoid formatting or entering data in entire columns or rows unnecessarily. So Excel considers all cells with formatting or data as part of the used range, which can bloat file size and slow down processes. Slow down processing. So if you want to work, make sure your data is within the smallest range, as small a range as possible. So for efficiency, so limit used range. Then the next thing is you want to minimize volatile functions. Minimize volatile functions. So to minimize volatile functions, you have functions like now, okay? Functions like now, today, offset, you know, indirect. I think we've used all of these things except maybe one or two. Then there is rand and info. So these functions recalculate every time Excel recalculates, which can severely degrade performance in large workbooks because there's a kind of drag on the system each because you need to update these kind of functions. So you don't make sure you don't use them unless it is absolutely necessary to do that. Okay. Then the next is you can reduce complex formulas, complex formulas, reduce complex formulas. So replace complex nested formulas with helper columns or simplified calculations. So you can use array formulas cautiously as they can be slow. So if you work on an array, I think we've done something on array at some point. So you want to reduce them. Don't use anything that you don't need, basically. That I think that's a rule here. So you can then use efficient formulas. Use efficient formulas. Okay. So use built-in functions like sum ifs, count ifs instead of sum products. Avoid using entire column references like A to A in formulas. Instead, specify exact ranges. Okay. Or if doing otherwise can slow down your work. So the next thing is you avoid excessive conditional formatting. Avoid excessive conditional formatting. Don't use any formatting that is redundant or that you don't really need. Okay. So because you want to if you work with heavy files. So too many conditional formatting rules slow Excel down, especially when applied to large ranges. Limit the scope and remove unnecessary rules. Very important. So that's talking about optimizing workbook design. Now let's move on to number two. You can manage data efficiently. Manage data efficiently. Okay. Manage data efficiently. How do you do this? You can use tables and structured references. Use tables and structured references. So you can see tables work faster and more efficiently compared to data ranges. Then another thing, so Excel tables can improve performance by limiting ranges and making formulas more manageable. Then the next you want to do is to large, split large data, okay, into multiple worksheets or files. So split large data. So if possible, divide very large data sets into smaller manageable chunks or external data files and link them. Okay. So next, you also want to use pivot tables wisely. Use pivot tables wisely. So in short, don't use pivot tables when they are not necessary. So refresh pivot tables only when needed and avoid using entire columns or large dynamic ranges as data sources. So that can be a lot of drag on your system. Okay. So number three, let's talk about optimize. You can optimize calculation settings. Optimize calculation settings. Okay. So the first thing you want to do here is to switch to manual calculation, switch to manual calculation mode. Okay. So set Excel to manual calculation, that is formulas, calculation options, and manual to prevent automatic recalculation out of to prevent automatic recalculation after every change. So you can use F9 to manually trigger recalculations, right? So go to formulas, go to calculation options, and go to manual to switch to manual calculation mode if you're working with large files, right? So next, so manual calculation now helps such that you don't have to it prevents automatic recalculation, which can slow down your sheet or your workbook. Then you can calculation, use calculation use calculation options to optimize. Okay. So for large workbooks, consider enabling calculate only active worksheets instead of the whole workbook. Because if you are calculating the whole workbook, it will drag down the system, as you can already imagine. Then another thing we can do, number 4, is to reduce file size. Reduce file size. Okay. So here you can remove unnecessary objects. Remove unnecessary objects and data. Okay. So delete unused worksheets, charts, shapes, and images. Embedded objects can increase file size drastically. So don't put any extra thing you don't need. So then clear excess formatting. I think we've spoken along this line. Clear excess formatting. Okay. So use the clear format command on unused cells and avoid formatting entire rows or columns. Then you can compress images if at all you need images. Of course, sometimes you need to use images. So you can compress the images. So compress or resize images before inserting them into the workbook. Then you can also save as binary workbook. Save as binary workbook. Okay. Save as binary workbook. That is the .xl. That's .xlsb. Saving your file as .xlsb can significantly reduce file size and improve opening and saving speed, right? So these are really useful hacks for you to optimize if you're working with large files. Okay, so let's move on to number 5, talking about improve external, improve external links and data connections. Improve external links and data connections. So here, first of all, you want to limit external links. Limit external links. So too many external links slow down workbook opening and recalculation. Break links if no longer needed, for sure. Then use data connections efficiently. Use data connections efficiently. Okay. So use Power Query or external data connections to pull the large data sets instead of copying data directly into Excel. Okay. So we move on to the next, number 6 now. So how about talking about hardware and system considerations. Hardware and system considerations. So you can increase RAM. That's uh, random access memory, I think. Increase RAM. So Excel performance improves with more memory, especially when handling large data sets that you can use. So it means the kind of computer you're using. So if you know you're going to be working with large data sets, so you need a powerful machine, a powerful computer with large RAM that can make your work faster. So use a solid state drive. Use a solid state drive, that is SSD. The opposite of the other option apart from this is hard drive, I think. So SSD speed up file open and save operations compared to traditional hard drives, right? Then you have you can close unnecessary applications, close unnecessary applications. I mean, this goes without saying, right? Um, so free system resources by closing other programs to improve Excel responsiveness. Then you can use 64-bit Excel. Use 64-bit Excel. Okay. I mean, this whole thing most of these things actually come with your the configuration, the specification of your computer. So 64-bit Excel can handle larger files and more memory than 32-bit versions. Okay. So I think that's quite instructive. Then let's go to number 7, talking about Excel options and settings. So here you can disable animations, and hardware graphics acceleration. So here you can go to File. So you go to File, you go to Options, you go to Advanced. And when you get there, you can disable hardware graphics acceleration to sometimes improve speed. Then next, you can turn off auto recover, turn off auto recover temporarily. Okay, that's if you're working with large files now. If you work with small files, you won't may not never need this. So adjust number of undo levels. Okay, reducing the number of undo actions in the registry. That's advanced users can improve performance. Then we go for the uh, group 8 of things we need to do. That's you can use specialized Excel features. Use specialized Excel features. Use specialized Excel features like power pivots, and data model. So we talked about power pivots uh, under some very useful build add-ins for Excel. So for huge data set, use Power Pivot and the Excel data model to manage and analyze data efficiently. Then there's Power Query. Power Query. So use Power Query to import, transform, and load data without bloating the workbook. Okay. So number 9, there should be regular maintenance. Regular maintenance. So of course, if you're working with large data, that automatically means that it means a lot to you, right? So you want to maintain as much as possible. So you can check for corruption. You want to check that your file is not corrupt at any point in time. Check for corruption. Periodically save as a new file to remove corrupt or bloats. Then you can audit formulas. You need to audit formulas and named ranges Okay, so remove unused named ranges and audit formulas to optimize references. And number 10, not last but not the least, we talk about other best practices. Okay, other best practices. First of all, you want to avoid volatile add-ins. Volatile add-ins. Like macros, I want to believe, you know, volatile add-ins or macros that slow down Excel. So disable or optimize add-ins and macros that may consume excessive resources. Then use VBA efficiently. If you need to use VBA, do that efficiently. Use VBA efficiently. Again, VBA is Visual Basics for application. Visual Basic for applications. When automating with VBA, avoid selecting objects or activating sheets repeatedly. Use direct referencing instead. Then lastly, you can regularly update Excel. Regularly update